listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the LOZ Podcast Network. My name's Ken Lawler. It's another episode. And let me tell you, you might be watching us in the LOZ app, like many of you do. You might be listening to us on KRMS radio on Saturday mornings from 10 to 11. We call it the Big Simulcast. We love our collaboration with all the radio stations over at KRMS. And by the way, you can listen to those stations if you go into the LOZ app and hit the media button with one click. You can be listening to rock or sports or talk radio like this and maybe even hear me on there. Which, you know, let's face it. I mean, I like to talk a little bit, so it's great that I can be on talk radio. And that was, and by the way, my guest is already laughing. Pamela Quinn, we have her on often. Hello, how are you doing today?
I am awesome. How are you this morning?
Great. Well, you're our resident expert on, a lot of people think you're the resident expert on vacation rentals, and you are. But I use you in a different way. I use you as a barometer to what's going on at the lake and what's popular and what's happening because you see it first, right?
We do. We see the bookings start to come in and we see a trend up far in advance when they, like, for example, Magic Dragon Car Show, perfect example. We know when they confirm and open registration because we get the bookings. And so I almost don't even need to pay any attention anymore because the bookings come in. I'm like, oh, they must have announced. But yes, definitely a barometer on what is trending, what's popular, and what's coming to the lake soon. So.
Yeah. And, you know, what's interesting about that is people are starting to plan a little bit better, but you still have last minute people, right? I mean, so I think people think, well, if I didn't get in a month ago, I can't get in. But you guys have over what, 200 and I don't know, what is it now, 30 properties?
Yes, we're between 225 and 230 right now for total properties and available properties. It is very much a blend of the high planners and then the last minute. And honestly, nationally, the highest growing trend in travel is 14 days or less prior to the booking and arrival date. So it's really the short-term planner that is the highest growing trend and traveler in the United States. But we have the planners, you know, like I said, Magic Dragon Car Show, Bike Week, Shootout, even some of the amphitheater concerts. When they announce those amphitheater concerts, we have a group of properties that are close to the amphitheater. So there's certain things that trigger bookings. And then for people like me, because I'm definitely one of those people that are the 14 days or less people, you know, we appreciate having last minute options open too. So there's good strategy on both sides.
And let's talk a little bit about the upcoming events. So we got Shootout Week coming. That's always a big one. I know that's a big one for a couple of reasons. One, it draws a lot of people to the lake. But also, you have a lot of units that you could actually maybe watch part of the race from the unit, right? So that's kind of cool. So, and
as the Shootout shifted to its current position, there are some condos where you can see the actual race from. They are limited, very limited, on where you can see the race from. More popular, though, to be honest, are because Shootout is something like you really want to be in. More popular are the ones where you can get a boat slip that are within close proximity to the race and close proximity to Dog Days, the hub of the race. Those are definitely very popular. And then the other popular aspect, because the Shootout on the Strip and the Parade of the Boats and all of that is incredibly popular as well. Those properties that we have that are very close to the Strip book up really quickly for the dates around the Shootout as well. So we kind of have both ends, which is nice. You have the Lake Ozark side, and then you have the Osage Beach side. And then, of course, it's a good weekend overall because there's so much that happens at the lake on Shootout Week. We have Rocky Mount, Sunrise Beach, Camdenton. We have properties all over the lake that book for that week because people just want to be present for everything that's going on, but they don't necessarily want to be in the heart of it. So a lot of different types of travelers that come for Shootout, and very much a lot of last minute because school has started, sports has started, and a lot of people are just waiting to see if their schedule can really pull it off.
Well, and besides the fact that you're going to help people with Shootout, you are now the official company for Shootout. Tell us a little about that. That's a pretty cool designation. You guys just became the official vacation rental company of the Shootout, didn't you?
We did. And that is something that I would say was a long time in the works. We have always been a good go-to for the shootout committee for lodging as they have, their partners that are coming in and, oh, we need to have additional space for our production team, or we need to have additional space for these sponsors. And so we've been a good partner as far as that's concerned, simply because we truly do have the largest inventory of vacation rentals at the lake. And we enjoy working with them because we know what they give back to the community. And so we'll work with them on the fact that that's also one of the highest paid times at the lake. So when we're working with them on productions, teams, and that type of thing, lake days will sometimes contribute to make it more manageable for their teams to be able to be in our properties that have great locations. And in the end, that collaboration has allowed us to build, I think, confidence between both of us. Our confidence in Shootout and what Shootout does for the community, our confidence that Shootout is a consistent professional organization, and their confidence in us that we are going to work with them on what the opportunities are for their production, for their safety teams. Just all of the people that need a place to stay, because those people, they don't just show up on that day. They're here practicing in advance, especially the safety teams, practicing in advance, preparing, and staying through usually Monday. So.
Yeah. And, I sit on the board, so I see it from the inside, and I know we definitely go to you guys for a lot of different things that we need. And it's just fun. It's a great week. I mean, the shootout is just one of the biggest things going on and during the summer. And I can't believe it's almost here. I mean, it seems like you and I just talked and we were talking about, Memorial Day is coming. What do we got to do? But it's cruising. But there is a ton of things going on around the lake, including shootout, which you got right after shootout bike week, right after bike week, Jeep week. There's no longer a shoulder season, is there?
No, it really does continue. You have Harbor Hop as well, and then you have your pub crawls. You have the boutique crawl. There is, and these were all things that people may have. Bike Week definitely is. Travelers. Jeep Invasion, when it first started, was kind of immediate, local, and regional. Now that is, we get people from Oklahoma, from Texas. So that is Jeep Invasion has now grown also, and then even Harbor Hop. Those are people coming to the lake for kind of a unique experience. And the pub crawls. The shoulder season isn't what it used to be, that's for sure. And to me, that's the greatest opportunity that there is for an owner of a vacation rental, and the greatest opportunity that exists for the local businesses. Because while you can make an incredible wealth in the month of July, your ability to really impress people happens in the off season, because you have the time to do exceptional things, unique things, take a little bit more to be in their space, support them, that type of thing. So.
And what happens with, let's face it, you got the times in the summer when things are tight. I know you sold out a couple weeks in there over the 4th of July, which I can't even imagine a sellout. 230 something units that are sold out. That's got to be stressful in your team for one.
Yes. It's very, I would love to say that. So how I would describe it, and the shift in what vacation rental management looks like today compared to 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we would be sold out consistently every weekend in July, but we were sold out those weekends in June. In June, we knew that coming into July, we were sold out. That's not the case anymore. So Monday, we had, I think, 18 properties open. This weekend, I think today are 2. So between Monday and Thursday, 16 properties booked, which means we need to plan for those arrivals. We need to inspect those properties. We need to prepare for those guests.
And so what happens after the main season? Is there a reprice for everybody? Does everybody kind of reprice and say, well, it's off season, so we have to have a different kind of structure. We're trying to attract people that want to come down to shop or whatever. Obviously, there's not as much going on. Or does it kind of is it one rate the whole year and you kind of stay there and hope you get it?
That's a great question. We actually run 8 seasons plus 6 unique booking dates. But so that's what our discovery has been. So when you look at, a lot of people look at, well, high season is from Memorial Day to Labor Day. We actually run 4 unique seasons between Memorial Day and Labor Day based on travel trends, how much people are willing to pay, and that type of thing. And so our booking rates between Memorial Day and Labor Day not only change within those 4 seasons, but I can tell you this week alone, we've changed them market focused 3 times since Sunday, which is how those 18 properties have booked, because we are paying attention to market. Now, after we'll just say Labor Day, because I don't want to dive into too many details. After Labor Day, definitely a price shift, but not a high price shift, because the water's still warm, the bars are still open. And then as the bars start to shut down on the weekends, the lakefront ones, then we shift a little bit more. And then our focus becomes on fishermen. Well, I can tell you fishermen and fisherwomen do not pay the price of summer booking rates. They have a different focus. They need.
But they're a great group because they're loyal. They come back, and yeah, you love to have them.
And they take great care of the properties because all they do is sleep there and eat. So I mean,
but they need a trailer parking. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into
and
the
they need
dynamics.
A place to charge. Yeah, totally different focus for that guest. So the price point is different for them. And then as we get into more of the beyond shoulder, then our focus is on contractors, and our focus is on people coming for conferences that are coming for the conference, but they're not a hotel type person. And so they want a vacation rental. So there's a shift in those things as we go through. And sometimes the type of property that you have, is defining those rates. The location defines those rates. Sometimes the amenities, especially for the fishing groups, the amenities, the charging, the trailer parking, the closest boat launch. Those things are defining. And then, how much water you have at your dock after October 31st. And there's a lot of things that go into what works best for our guests, what works best for our owners, where those price points can be, and of course, how many stays we can get to help the owners gain. So.
Well, and then we're going to get into that in a little bit. I'm going to take a break, but we have a lot more coming up because one thing I know that with Pamela Quinn, she is a scientist when it comes to how to manipulate pricing and how to get the most out of these. I mean, you have studied this. You guys put you put everybody through the ringer. And I think your approach is so unique, and that's why people need to list their property with you, because you guys, this is your full-time gig. That you're not doing this just for fun, even though I think it started out that way. Now you're full into it. Listen, we're going to be right back with Pamela Quinn in just a second. This is another episode of the LOZ Podcast Network.